goal of parenting isn't to give your kids a good future. It's impossible anyway. The future's uncertain. So is it the best use of our parental energy, our love, to continue trying to achieve the impossible? Isn't there something instead where the success could happen right now instead of 30 years down the road, if at all? Imagine if there was a goal for parents that we could actually achieve every day and know it. Well, how about this? Don't worry about giving your kids a good future. Give them a good past. A huge part of who we feel we are as individuals is our memories, our history. And our kids are becoming themselves every day in this respect, and we're in charge of it. In her book, The Philosophical Baby, Alison Gopnik notes that we actually do get to determine one very important aspect of our children's adult lives: the childhood they bring into it. It's great to be smart, rich, mentally healthy, all things we tend to want for our children, but it's just as valuable, Gopnik points out, to have, quote, the ineradicable gift of a happy childhood. That's a trip to the park, hugs before bed, letting them choose the music in the car. It's doable. The present, we can almost control, or at least feel like it. And that feeling's all we're dealing with here, because we get to see our efforts work right now and not just hope that they will. Hey, if you like making life a little more manageable by just thinking about it different, come along. I got more.
There was something I wanted my 11-year-olds to do, and they didn't feel like doing it, so I said, if you do it, you can be 12. I don't know why I said that. It just came out of my face, off the top of my head, and I don't know what I meant, but you know what? It worked. They jumped to it, and now they're 12? What does that even mean? Did I just shorten their lifespan by a year? Did they? This is like some Jacob and Esau soup situation over here. Did they just agree to lose a year of their life to follow through on something I asked them to do? They're 12 now. Shit. I didn't think this through.
I completely emptied out the shed today to clean it because I'm a stereotypical curmudgeonly dad looking for something to putz around doing on a Saturday morning. But that has nothing to do with the thought that I just had, which is how stupid it is to ground kids. It just means you have to be around them more. It's like you're punishing yourself. I got a message asking if I'm at all concerned about my younger kids coming upon my TikToks where I swear a bit. And the answer is no. I've already shown my kids most of my videos. Here's my take on kids and swearing. It's a lot like kids and drinking. No, they shouldn't do it very much. They shouldn't do it. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to. I'm a fucking grown-up. I'm not going to apply the strictures of childhood to my own life just because I have so many children around me all the time. And then, of course, they're going to grow up and start experimenting behind my back with a sip of this and a fuck that. And you know what? Everything's going to be fine. Probably. But if it's not, it has nothing to do with whether I was lackadaisical in preventing their use of taboo language. Or maybe this is all just me rationalizing so I don't have to correct them about so much shit. Or feel like a hypocrite. Very possible. So I guess this was my lazy, bad parenting advice for the day. Come along if you want more. I imagine I can come up with some. I'm hanging out in a parking lot for the next 3 hours because I dropped my kids off to play at an arcade and I'm not going to be joining them. For 2 reasons. 1, I hate video games. I tried to like NBA Jam and Street Fighter 2 back in the day, just so I could fit in with my friends. Didn't work. And 2, the arcade is a flat rate for 3 hours, which is cool, but it's not pay per play, so I can't just walk in and watch the kids play their games. I actually would have to pay as if I wanted to be there. I'm not paying $11 to be in a constricted space with a bunch of flashing lights, dinging games, and dozens of yelling children. Also, I can simulate society's expectation of an involved father. No, I may not be that great of a dad, but I'm also not a sucker. Or that's what I tell myself. Jeez, I don't usually think of myself as being this negative. This is what video games do to me. I'm gonna blame them. Wow. I should probably explore this. Anyway, just me in this parking lot for 3 hours. Should have brought a book. It takes my kids like an extra 5 minutes every day to get out of the house because they have to bring a water bottle with them. When I was a kid, there was water bottles like at the bench on the sidelines of sporting events, and that's it. Back in my day. But then I realized, also back in my day, after recess, this was the 80s and 90s, we would come in and stand in lines like 20 people deep at the water fountain, and there was like 2 of them. So fucking thirsty, we thought we were gonna die, and yet still having no empathy for the people ahead of us. Here we are trying to get the smallest taste of like the most important resource we need as human beings, and we're rushing each other. So we'd all get like 3 or 4 sips and end up back in reading or social studies, just barely on the damp side of parched, still out of breath, feeling like we were gonna die, and trying to learn. All right, I've come around. Water bottles are cool.